Hello everyone, it's Adam here. So today we're going to talk about my vlogging setup. Let's get a little bit more light in here first. How's that? A little bit better. I get a lot of questions actually about my technology I use to make these videos. As everyone knows that watches my channel, I'm an amateur. In the past 2 years, I've gone from having, I think, 200 subscribers, and that's from like 05 to 2016, total 250 subscribers, and I was just posting random videos, so all of my subscribers were friends that knew me in real life, or blog readers and such. I would just post random videos. But then in the past 2 years, now I have 1,700, and that's not a lot of subscribers, but a lot of people I meet in real life ask me about my setup and my workflow. I'm not very good at this, but I do love technology and hardware, so I try to always be kind of expanding the kind of things I shoot with. So my original vlogging camera was, believe it or not, the iPhone. Now, digital vlogging camera is of like 2 years ago. Before that, I was using the Cisco-owned Quick camera. I was using the GoPro, the original GoPro for a while. I was using my webcam built into my MacBook Pro or iBook. So I've been using all kinds of cameras, or like regular Sony PowerShot handy cams, basically. The iPhone has changed immensely in the past couple of years, even in this channel. So when I first started recording, the maximum resolution was 1080p. Now with the iPhone 8 Plus, we can shoot 4K at 60 FPS, which gives me the opportunity to slow things down to half speed if I'd like to. It has built-in optical image stabilization on the main camera, not the telephoto camera. The main camera, I think, is 1.8 aperture. The telephoto is 2.2 or 2.4, but lacks OIS, optical image stabilization. So I primarily shoot on the wide camera, the standard camera. That's the 1X zoom level. Love this thing. It's with me at all times. I think it's beautiful, although it lives in a case. And I think the iPhone is, it's amazing to me because it's really challenged me as a vlogger, because a lot of cameras can't keep up with this. That's what's amazing about it. The camera I'm recording this on right now, which is the Lumix LX10, I believe. I think so. It is a 4K camera at 30 FPS. I think it shoots Adobe RGB color profile. It does not do HDR. It does not do 60 FPS. It lacks wide color gamut. It has a flip-up selfie mode where I can flip this back camera up. I like shooting with it on the tripod because I like getting the 4K resolution, but the Lumix LX10 is aging, and I've only had it for 9 months. And because the reason is, even though it's always on me as my pocket camera, it's in my backpack or in my motorcycle tank bag, takes better photos than the iPhone 8 Plus, takes better video than a lot of 4K cameras, but the iPhone 8 Plus has optical image stabilization, wide color gamut, HDR, and 4K at 60 FPS, so it's beating the camera that you're currently looking at this video on. But I do like having a dedicated camera on me, and if the iPhone is docked, I can still use this guy. So it is nice to have it, and it has a built-in tripod mount, so I use it on my tripod a lot for shots like this. But I still do a lot of my videos on this guy, which is the Canon 5D Mark III. The Canon 5D Mark IV is out now. I'm going to skip that generation and wait for the Mark V. Because I'm hoping the Mark V will get 4K at 60 FPS and get HDR or some kind of a wide color gamut shooting mode. I shoot with a 24-105 primarily for the car video, so you can see the best angle possible. For a lot of my vlogging videos where I'm talking to you guys directly for 20 minutes face-to-face, I shoot my 50mm lens at usually f2.0 or f2.4 to let a little bit light in but get that kind of bokeh effect that looks nice. This thing chews through batteries, so I've got the dual battery carrier on the bottom here. And I shoot with this a lot. It's primarily for photography, photos of beer, photos of events, things I go to. I shot a wedding recently, and this thing was a workhorse. I rented a few lenses, so it's just an overall great camera. But 1080p at 30 FPS, and again, Adobe RGB. So it's not doing much for me in the video space. Although when I'm doing face-to-face vlogs, I'm okay with the 1080p at 30 constraint, because the quality, the glass itself and the sensor is so large, it just looks fantastic, even though it has not kept up with the resolution game that the other ones have done. Recently retired well, or so I thought, is the TomTom Bandit. It sits on the left side of my helmet cam. It locks just like this. It's narrow, it's lightweight, I barely feel it. When I'm on the road and the battery dies after a whopping like hour and a half of recording at 1080p 60 FPS, I can take this guy out right here and switch batteries. All I have to do is then yank the memory card out of the side like this. Put that in the other battery, stick it in. I have 3 batteries for this guy. It's astonishing. I keep all 3 batteries with me at all times on the motorcycle. While it's recording, I can actually drop this back here in the back and charge it while it's recording, which is something the GoPro couldn't do until last year. And it doesn't have any stabilization. The body is completely waterproof, but then the audio kind of sucks. It makes a constant wobbling sound against my helmet. Why I love it: lightweight, inconspicuous, doesn't pull my helmet to the left or the right, waterproof by default, and the battery swapping is so simple. I mean, this thing is just, it's just a workhorse, and I love it. And in fact, I tried to use my new GoPro, the Hero 6, last week when I was on a motorcycle day trip, 8 hours of riding, and this died after 45 minutes in 1080p mode. And I put this on, and it lasted another 2 hours. I switched the battery, 2 more hours, and then I got home on the last battery, and it was only half used. So the Hero 6 is obviously the better camera for motorcycle vlogging, mostly because of the higher frame rates and the digital image stabilization. So optical image stabilization is where when you move this, the camera body in here is moving around to keep things as balanced or level as possible to reduce shake in the video, which with digital sensors, shake is it kind of creates a weird feathering effect where like the top of the frame gets far out and the center stays where it was. It's an issue with CCD or digital camera sensors. So you won't see it on an old school film camera or video camera. Well, you will see it with new CCDs. So optical image stabilization is what you want. This one doesn't have optical or digital. This only has digital, which was kind of a bummer. So I didn't buy the Hero 5 because I thought the Hero 6 would have optical image stabilization. It does not. But they did a nice job with the digital. It's not annoying. You can tell it's being done. You can see a little bit of the edges where you'll see some of because basically the GPU or the CPU in here is trying to decide what to keep level and what to allow to move. So if you're on a motorcycle, it'll try to keep the motorcycle in the middle of the frame and let everything around it move. It's all software based, so it doesn't always do a great job at it. But comparing these two side by side, this is heavier. This throws my helmet to the right. The battery life sucks. The body is waterproof, which is a nice improvement over the Hero 4 that I used to have. And but it does not. It's not as good as the Bandit. I wish I can get a form factor like this with 4K at 60 FPS recording, with the wide color gamut, with HDR, with some kind of image stabilization that in this form factor, and I have yet to find that. So the Hero 6 is it for now. Retiring the Bandit over here. This is my old workhorse for motorcycle vlogging, the Hero 4. You'll see how thick it is because in the back of this is a Bluetooth backpack that works with my Bluetooth microphone in my helmet. If I'm on the bike and I'm talking about life and you're hearing my voice and hearing a little bit of the outside elements, then I'm going to keep using the Hero 4 for that for now, because the Hero 4 has this backpack that works with my Sena. The only way to get the Hero 6 to work with that is to buy their $130 USB-C to line in adapter and then put a microphone physically in my helmet that runs to the GoPro and find a place that's a steady mounting location so you don't hear a lot of like this, like that kind of noise. So the Hero 4 is going to stay in the stable, 4K at 30 FPS, no stabilization at all, the same shitty battery life as the Hero 6, but it has that audio feature, so when I'm doing vlogging, that's going to be the way I do it. It'll also stay in operation for my time-lapse footage on my motorcycle, because I assume I'll be using this on my head. When I figure out a way to charge it while riding, it requires getting a longer USB-C cable and a 20,000 milliamp hour battery pack to go into my motorcycle chest pocket. Then I'll be able to record for the full 4 hours that this 128 gigabyte micro SD card can take, and then I'll be able to record the whole time that way. But this is the vlogging camera. This will be the helmet camera, and then or time-lapse slash vlogging camera, helmet camera. And if they ever figure out a way to do line in on this thing via Bluetooth, it has Bluetooth, I don't know why it doesn't support the Sena, then I will use that instead. I also like that you can frame a shot on the Hero 6 versus the 4. You can actually see what you're going to be shooting. So that's kind of a nice thing as well. Before we move on, though, the Hero 6 is a new addition to the stable. It's the newest addition to the stable. And the video looks fantastic. I love that you can do linear wide or super view, depending on the resolution. I love that you can record 1080p at like 240 FPS. You can record 2K, 4K at 60. 4K, I think 4K at 60 doesn't have optical image stabilization. You got to do 4K 30 for that, which is totally acceptable. That's fine with me, but it's fantastic in the image quality. It is buggy as hell. I've already disabled the record on voice feature because I'll look over and my desk will be lit up because the back screen is lit up and it's recording. I'm like, well, I don't know why it started recording, but it just started recording randomly. That's an issue. Every time I want to put it into the... Where's my thing here? Where's my recording thing? Every time I want to put it into the Karma grip, which is the 3-axis gimbal stabilizer that GoPro makes, it might record the first time. If I turn the Karma off, turn it back on and go to record another clip, it'll be in some mode of saving. It's super buggy, and I hope that is fixed with software updates, but it is just a very, very buggy camera. Sometimes it records, I have to actually pull the battery out a lot because it'll be in some maintenance mode. The battery, when it died after like 10 minutes of us motorcycling the other day, I tried to figure out why. The battery was only half used. It just died randomly. It just stopped recording. And when I'm out motorcycling, I never know when I'm going to crash. I'm going to see a deer, a moose, if I'm going to do something cool on the bike and jump over something and go take it over some sweet jumps. And to constantly looking in my side mirror to see if I'm recording or not is really shitty. It should record until the battery dies. I'd like to get some kind of a buzz or a loud beep to let me know that the battery's about to dead, so I know to change the battery. The only thing I know when it's recording is this little tiny light up here is much dimmer than the Hero 4 was, which had a light that was much brighter and bigger too. You can see how different the lights there. It's top corner and then over here. So I knew the Hero 4 was recording pretty reliably. This is hard to tell if it's recording, especially with my sunglasses on. I just find the experience of this, the output is wonderful. But the experience versus the Hero 4 and the TomTom Bandit is just shittier. Buggy, low battery life. The screen is nice for framing a shot, but then I want it to turn off. The voice command doesn't work, or when it works unintentionally. Attaching this to the drone or the 3D gimbal they sell is buggy as hell. I just find it kind of annoying. Oh, and every time I put it into 3D gimbal, I have to remove the door, which removes the waterproofness. So the door, which I'm going to lose at some point, this is required. So if I put the GoPro into this thing here, this is my helmet setup. So if I put it in here, this needs to stay off for me to charge it while I'm on the motorcycle. But if it starts raining, it's no longer waterproof because the door isn't fixed. So I've got to take it off, unplug it, put the door back on, and then I have waterproofness. I'd rather just have a waterproof case for this and not have to deal with the door anymore. Also, when I want to use the drone or the 3D gimbal, you also have to remove the door. So if you're recording in a rainstorm and you got the door on and then you want to record from the 3D gimbal, you've got to take the door off. It's pretty simple to do, but the problem is going to be losing it at some point, and now it's waterproof. Something to consider. But you know, this is nice. It's bigger than the Hero 4, but it also has the waterproof elements. It's nicer to the touch. I love the LCD screen in the back for what it's good for, but overall, I just think it's a step back from the Hero 4 as far as the usability, not necessarily the output quality. All right, so now we're at the iPad, which is 4K at 30 FPS. It's an all-around recording device. It also sends all my things to iCloud Photos, just like the iPhone does, so it makes it easier to edit them later. You'll kind of see here, actually, I wanted to show you guys this. This is the exaggerated camera shake I was talking about that all CCDs are exhibiting, unless they have optical or digital image stabilization, which the iPad Pro does not. You'll see here this stretching. It's the stretching of these images as you move the iPad, and that's what you get when you're doing capture. So in the TomTom, in the Hero, in the Canon, you'll get that stretching of an image as you move it. You may not even be seeing it on here because the refresh rate of the Lumix is only 30 FPS, but it is noticeable in post-production, and that's why I try to stick with devices that have optical or digital image stabilization, which currently only 3 of my devices do: the Hero 6, the iPhone 8, and the that's it. Yeah, just 2 devices. So it's kind of a problem for me, but iPad's a good standby there. And then finally we got the 3 batteries for the Hero 6, we have 3 batteries for the Hero 4, we have 3 batteries for the Canon 5D. I have a bunch of battery packs, a bunch of USB chargers when I travel. Let's get this little mini tripod, which I love to use on motorcycle trips. When I travel, and I'm shooting this on a Manfrotto 190CX Pro 4 carbon tripod with the 3-way head, the MHX Pro 3W head. Great setup. I think I got the tripod for free at a convention raffle about 10 years ago, and I love it. And the head I bought for $200 or $250 about 3 years ago, and they're just fantastic. They've got 3 levels. It's just amazing. So so this is my pocket Manfrotto, and this is the MT Pixie B tripod. And then I try to shoot in with as much as I can. This is the latest kind of enhancement. So this came with the Hero 6. Well, I bought it extra, but it came all in one package. It had the 3D gimbal here. It's going to be my travel device, so it goes on me on the bike or in the car when we're on road trips. And if we're doing a vlog or if we're going somewhere interesting, I'll try to get some quadricopter views here. This is the GoPro Karma. It's on version 2 software now. It's great. I've never flown a drone before, and I flew this the first time for 20 minutes and had no issues at all. Even when it was pretty windy, it self-leveled really well. You can't land it manually. You have to land where I am, basically where the controller is, or land where I took off from, and it'll remember its takeoff location. You can't land it yourself, which is really annoying. So if you're in a really tight spot and you know it's going to hit trees on its descent, you have to kind of take it as close to you as possible, then do the land at me and hope for the best. Like I took off at near a grill, and then when I pressed the come to me, I was 5 feet from the grill. It landed on the top of the grill, and it broke 2 of the wings propellers. So kind of annoying, but it's fantastic. I came with a free battery, so I have 2 batteries with 20 minutes of flight time per. It came with the 3D Karma gimbal, and then it came with the Hero 6 with all the little Hero 6 accessories, and then I ended up spending $20 on this Hero 6 3-way battery pack. So all in, I think it was $1,300 total for the whole Hero 6 setup, which is greatly improving the quality of my videos for you guys overall. And that's pretty much it. Let's talk about post-production. So I do all my post-production primarily on a 5K iMac. It's the maxed out 5K iMac from last generation. So it's a Core i7 at 4 gigahertz, 24 gigs of RAM, and the Radeon R495 or 395X with 4 or 8 gigabytes of VRAM. Incredibly fast. It does not have an NVIDIA chip in it, so it doesn't have the CUDA acceleration that Final Cut Pro or W Premiere likes a lot. So transcoding sometimes gets me a little bit annoyed. I'm thinking it's only a 4K video, it's not 8K, and it's taking you an hour to transcode this video. Kind of annoying for being Apple's fastest computer as of 4 months ago. And then if I'm on the go, the MacBook Pro, which is a late 2013 MacBook Pro with a Core i7, 2.6 gigahertz, 16 gigs of RAM, 512 gig SSD, and the NVIDIA 750M GPU with 2 gigs of VRAM. So I use both of those depending on where I am. I try to avoid using the MacBook Pro if I can, because once transcoding is done, the hard drive is full of a 30-minute video transcoded for editing. So, and I will get the new MacBook Pro after the next revision. So my current one is out of warranty now, which I never do, but it's still going for about $1,200, $1,300 on eBay, so I'll sell that probably in the next 6 months to 9 months, get the new one, and then I'll be able to more comfortable editing videos while traveling. And then I import all videos as is. I encode them for YouTube at whatever the highest encoding that Final Cut Pro will offer me, 422 or 444 HQ. I don't export them as H.264, which, you know, like a 10-minute video in H.264 at 4K is like one gigabyte large. When I export at my encoding, it's usually 10 to 20 gigabytes, which means it takes like a whole day to upload it to YouTube. But the advantage is YouTube has this version that they can do whatever they want to, where they can serve it to thousands of different devices at the highest possible setting that they can, as opposed to being limited by H.264. So most of my videos I send to YouTube take a very long time. And the largest video I've ever uploaded to YouTube was 600 gigabytes. Yeah, I mean 600 gigabytes is the largest I ever uploaded to them, 6 hours long, and they took it. So it's pretty amazing what you can do with YouTube. And they're obviously throwing away that original source file and delivering a ton of different versions for you guys that are way smaller. I edit locally, but everything lives on my NAS downstairs that backs up once a month to a cloud service. It's a 36 terabyte NAS with I think 20 terabytes used. That's a Synology DS815, I believe, plus with 16 gigs of RAM. So that thing is just amazing, and it's the file server, the whole house, time machine backup, running all kinds of home server stuff that we use. And then before I publish for you guys, I look at everything over on my 4K display or TV over here. It's the only non-Apple thing I have in my life is this 4K display. I think it's the 8500 series KS Samsung 4K display with HDR 65-inch resolution, and just perfectly fits between my two trims on the window there. So I use that for all of my proofing, and then finally when I'm happy with it and 4K looks wonderful, I will send it to you guys and publish 5 days a week. If I have enough videos. I only publish on the weekdays. I usually publish at 11 p.m. for the video that you guys will watch the following day, and then at 11 p.m. that night I publish again. So if you're a night owl, you probably see my videos a day before everyone else. Yeah, that's the setup. That's pretty much it. So let's close out of this video by take us off the tripod here. Oh, I can show you guys the tripod. This is the three-way ball for Manfrotto. I love it. You've got this here, you've got this guy and this guy, you've got the nice lock, you've got the 3 levels, and this is the bottom bit, the carbon fiber legs, super light. I mean, this thing weighs probably 4.5 pounds. The tripod head itself is about 2 pounds, so it's the heaviest element of it, and it's just a fantastic tool. I really love shooting with this thing. It's very light, very stable, tons of adjustments, and it's a professional tripod without a doubt. It holds pretty much any lens I can throw at it as far as weight. But before we go, and there's the iMac setup. Before we go, we're going to say goodbye to Mr. Porter. He always gets home from daycare and sleeps for like the first 4 hours because he plays all day at daycare. Lucky dog too, going to daycare every day. Hey Porter. No, he's not having it at all. Can I get a shake? Porter. There you go. There you go. Good boy. Okay. Well, thanks everyone for watching. And it was nice to have you in my home. And have a nice day. Bye, Porter.